let's talk about all the books I read in the first 3 months of the year. So I feel like I'm slightly, and I mean really slightly, catching up on the videos I need to film because it's nearly the end of April and I'm only now filming my wrap up for the first 3 months of the year, but it's better, right? Like, it's not as bad as like some of the book hauls that I've uploaded one and there's another one I need to upload, but all the things are happening, right? Like, I'm getting caught up. I feel good about it, but I'm excited. And I actually read 12 books in the first 3 months of the year. And yes, 6 of them were novellas, but that's fine, okay? It still counts as an individual book. I feel like I'm doing better this year than I have in previous, and that's the thing that matters, is that I feel good about it. This is all I want, is to feel good about what I'm reading and what's going on, but I'm excited to get through all the books that I read. Yeah, just tell you what I think about them. So like, let's get into it. So first I listened to Two Can Play by Ali Hazelwood. So this is still counted as a novella, but it is a 5-hour audiobook. So at 1.5 speed, it took like 3.5 hours or something. But this was fun. And I don't care that she writes the exact same story over and over and over and over again. It's the formula that fits. And I'm always gonna read it because I love it, because we always have these characters that seem to not like each other and there's a big misunderstanding and then they actually are in love with each other. That's what it is. Like, how can it even be a spoiler at this point when this is her MO? But this was based around gaming companies, and I feel like that's really interesting because you don't really see that often in books. Like, it should be in more books, but it's not. So basically there is 2 companies and they've both been put together to create this game because one of them's really good at storytelling and one of them's really good with the animations. So to make this third game better, they want them to work together, but the companies hate each other and they've set them on a like company retreat in the snowy Alps of somewhere in America, and they have to just coincide for 3 days. Basically our main character really had a crush on this guy, but she thinks he hates her, and then, you know, things spark. And the only difference with the novella is the things spark a lot quicker. But it's still good. I really enjoyed this. I love the location and I liked these characters. Can't remember her name, but I think his name was Jesse. Like, it was 4 months ago. Do I remember anything? Not really, but I still really enjoyed it. So then I was like fixated on Ali Hazelwood, so I listened to A Cruel Winter, which is the part of the Mistletoe Christmas collection in January, and you can see where the other novellas are going to come into this, because this was an hour and 10 minutes or something, and I was so excited because it was like, you know, it took no time at all, but it was just, again, like, they don't like each other and there's reasons, and she manages to tell the same story in an hour and it works. This was my favorite out of the collection. Like, it was just cute. I liked that she's gone in the snow to go pick up a pot and then gets stranded in the house with the man that she's like, I broke his heart and I ruined everything kind of vibes. Like, it was just done really well. You don't get much, but I enjoyed it. It was fun. So then I read Merry Ever After by Tessa Bailey, because at first I only bought the 3 from authors that I knew. So jumped onto the Tessa Bailey wagon and I liked this one. So she works at an op shop and she creates her own fashion, and she has a daughter, and like the father of the baby, you know, effed off. Like, he didn't want a part of her life, and she's in this small country town, and this massive oaf of a man, because that's all Tessa Bailey knows how to write, is these massively hunky dudes. He's kind of like a little bit obsessed with her, and she like sews him a pair of jeans, and then yeah, and she still manages to give me the ick with her love scenes in a novella. So that's just taken it to new feats, but it's just the one thing. Everything else about Tessa Bailey books I like. It's her dirty talk and her sex scenes that make me just be like, ugh. Like, there's something about her language that's just so icky. Thank God I enjoy plot, you know, so I like it for those things. But like, yeah, I don't think there's been a single man that I've really enjoyed, except for the one that was like the business owner of the Christmas shop in her novella. I think he was a good egg. And oh, and I think I did like the one from It Happened One Summer. Like, he was still grisly, but like, he was a bit better. I still enjoyed it, but just like, with such a short amount of space, why is there so much ick? And then I listened to All by My Elf by Olivia Dade, and I honestly didn't really like this one. Like, it was really weird that they were driving around in a hot dog mobile that looked like a massive dick. and I just, you know, this whole idea of, oh, I really like him, and then, oh, I don't think he likes me, and like, you know, having such an infinite level of storytelling to have to get through to then get to the end of it to be the times, you know, like I was like, So this one could have been fleshed out a bit more, and again, I know it's a novella and that's what it's got going for it, but yeah, it could have just had a little bit more fleshing out. So that was everything I read in January. So it was a very audiobook heavy month, but I was still finishing things, so at least there was that achievement for me. Okay, I do lie, there was books that I was like trying to read throughout the month as well in January, but I didn't finish them until February. I finished 6 books because it's always I finish the book in this month and that's when it counts. Even if I finish it on the first day of Feb, it counts in Feb's books. That's how I do it. So that's why I got through 6, because there was 2 books that I managed to finish pretty close in the month. And I was like, oh yay, I actually did something. So the first one was A Curse of Crows by Lauren Degrue. I really don't know how to say her name, but this was a Celestial Book Club pick, and I sadly didn't like it a heap. This has probably been my least favourite one. Like, I thought it was going to be really interesting, and they have like this dual timeline thing going on and multiple POVs from different characters that pop in to kind of explain the story to you, and I thought the timeline thing was going to be really cool, and then it was nothing, which bothered me. And then, you know, there's all these mysteries of like, why is this happening or what's going on? Like, it just kept going in different directions. Like, you thought it was this type of fantasy, and then something else happened, and then this happened, and then it's something like, oh, like gods and goddesses, and we're like in different realms. Like, I felt like there was at no point that this author knew what she was actually writing about, like what the plot was. I feel like it does a lot of the, oh, we have a power, let's instantly be good at it. And I know that that's a thing that happens in a lot of books because they're the chosen one, it's meant to be, but I didn't like that. I did like Keris the God because there was some vibes with him. He was cool. He was like, you know, given bad boy, and you know, the kind of character I love because they're like the villain, but then they're actually a good guy. Like, I like that, but just generally, this book shitted me to tears, and I don't plan on reading anymore. And it also ended mid-scene, and it was like what? Like, it wasn't even in a cliffhanger way. It was just, it literally ended on a sentence, and you're like, okay? But I also really don't want to know. I really don't want to know, but I did listen to this on audio because it's the only way I'm managing to make sure I actually read the book club books, is make them my audio books. And it's been working for me so far. So then I also finished Onyx Storm by Rebecca Yarros. So this is the other book that I was reading through January a bit and then through Feb a bit. But I have a massive reading vlog for this book that's 57 minutes long or something. Like, I have reading vlogs for all the books. If you want to waste a whole day in your life, you can. But I have many thoughts there, but I did really enjoy this. I enjoyed this more than Iron Flame because I was just so bored, and the arguing and the just keep going over the same point thing made it that it took me 6 months to read that book. This one I still took me 3 weeks to read, but I still did it, which is the main thing, and I just enjoyed it. We're having adventures in the Isles, and it was just really fun, and I enjoyed that, even though there is definitely some things I'm concerned about with characters, because I can't talk to you about anything, but it's just, you know, it's fun, it's dragons, and I know it's political, and I know bad shit's happening, but I still just enjoy the fun times with dragons. Like, I'm always going to enjoy that. You know, FYI, this is, I just got to tell you, I cried. Like, the first time I've actively ever cried in a book, because I can't remember ever doing it, was I cried in my reread of House of Earth and Blood at that point that you know. And as I'm reading this, I just started sobbing, and you would know what point, okay? You would know the reason why. And it shocked me, and then I had to put the book down because I couldn't see and I had a headache. And I'm like, is this how it feels to read normally when you're not emotionless? Like, I was just floored that I had that reaction, and that makes me scared to read any more books because I'm like, are you gonna also hurt me? Because I feel like it's gonna. I really do. And to carry on reading Christmas books, in February I read Merryhem and Mayhem by Alexandra Bellefleur. That was a mouthful, but my god, I loved this one actually. I liked the firefighter aspect and how she kept having disasters and he just always saved her. Like, I'm a 911 fan. Any firefighter content, I'm like, yeah, because I love Buck and Eddie. They're like my faves in that show. Love them so much. So this was fun, and this is one of the only ones that I was like, I want a novel. I want the whole story because there's things that I want to know about. because, like, you know, they live in different cities. I'm like, when does that happen? When do they, you know, like, I want to know the goss. But I didn't get that because it's only a novella, and I do understand that this is all I'm gonna get, but I want to know more about them. I really do. And then I finished reading Angel's Kiss by Jessica Mason. So this was sadly my last book that I'm ever reading at work, because I changed at the start of March to have half-hour breaks at work so I could go down on one of my shifts, because I used to do a 4-hour shift once a fortnight. So I've taken the 8 half-hour blocks and put them into my other shifts so that I actually get 2 days off a week now. So I only work 9 days a fortnight. It just makes it a little bit easier, but now I don't have time or a reason to bring a physical book. So it's kind of sad that this was my last little physical book that I've got to read, and it means that I haven't continued on with this series. Like, I have other things that are really pressing, but I will try and get to the 3rd book as soon as I can. But this has just been so much fun. Like, I know there's a lot of things to be cringe about, because I can't believe that they're just fucking. Like, it's Phantom of the Opera, and it just feels wrong that they're doing all that. It's meant to be a bit more innocent, in my opinion. Obviously there's like the possessiveness and the love and the like, I love you, but like, I feel like there's a little bit of that innocent joy to it, and it's like, it's been a bit hard to get used to it in this book. But what I've liked is it's fleshed out so much of the story. Like in this book, right, because at the end of the last book, it's the whole, she finds out what he looks like and she's like, oh, horrified. Like, anyone who knows the Phantom of the Opera retelling knows the story, but this book really delves into the nitty-gritty of their relationship and if it's going to work, because, you know, obviously she's horrified. Like, she's allowed to be when his face looks like that. And, you know, she's just trying to really reflect on her feelings and discovering that she really loves him, regardless of how he looks like. And I think it is a beautiful story, because it's someone who's like, you know, just not that she's loving him in spite of it, but she's loving him because of it, because we learn a lot about his backstory, what he's done since he was a kid, and, you know, his mum left him and everything, and just seeing the places he's been and what he's done and how he ended up in the basement area of the river section of the theatre. Like, I think it's had a lot of good information. We learn a lot about his backstory, and Raoul is a little bitch, man. He does not understand no in this book. Like, dude is just like, they've really made it the Phantom is the superior choice here, and that makes me happy. I'm just having a lot of fun with this, and it's ended at the Masquerade Ball, so you can see how so much space is covered. So I'm excited for the 3rd book, but there's also meant to be a 4th book, and I'm like, where the heck is the 4th book gonna go? So I am enjoying it. Like, at first, as I said, it was a bit confronting to get used to, but now that I am used to it, it's just the development is so beautiful. So I am keen to continue on with this eventually. And then to finish off the collection of Christmas novellas by reading Only Santa's in the Building by Alexis Daria, and I think that's the name because these are all a mouthful. This was honestly my least favorite because I was bored, and it's like, you only have an hour to impress me here. And I thought it was cute that she was getting the little Christmas ornaments and she's moved in and she's got the upstairs neighbor that's trying to help her, but it's again the whole, oh, does he like me? But I didn't connect with this one as much, and I felt like the times were taken up too much at the end. Like, you've got an hour, I don't need half an hour of it being that. You know what I mean? So this one, I'm sad that this one was my least favorite, because I liked the idea of the story, but I just didn't like how it was done fully. So that is just a me problem, but I'm sad that the last one was not as good, but then I did finish the collection, and I feel like I finished a series because it's 5 books in one collection and I'm counting it. And then I read Lucky Hit by Hannah Cohen, so I finally decided that I need to read more books for Babe, even though I'm sucking at it. Like, my pile has only gotten smaller because authors have pulled out, not because I've read the books. So I am trying my best. Even though at the moment I am reading a book for Babe, then I'm like, I need to buy the rest of the series now because I want to get them signed because I'm really enjoying it. So that's a dilemma. I also bought the rest of this trilogy to get them all signed. It's like I read one book and then I'm completely captivated, and I'm like, this is not good behavior, because I have to try and bring all these books home in 2 suitcases, and I'm stressed that it's actually going to be possible, but we're gonna try. I really enjoyed it. This is like kind of like, well, it's my second hockey romance, but it wasn't like Icebreaker because I didn't like Icebreaker. I just thought this was really fun because, like, you know, they meet one night after she's had a terrible heartbreak, and, you know, they talk all night for hours and they have a really instant connection, and then they don't see each other again until they end up at the same school, and he's like, oh my god, like, you know, he remembers her, and he's just attached. Like, it's so cute that he's just like, yep, I met you one night and I just know you're the person for me. But she obviously has had a bit of trouble because hockey player broke her heart last time, so she's like not sure if she wants to go with another hockey player. But it was cute. Like, I think it's easy to read. It's not obviously like the best bit of literature ever. I still gave it 4 stars, but for me that's like, you know, it's almost perfect, that kind of thing. But I just enjoyed it, and it was like really easy to read, and I just felt like I needed a contemporary at this point in my day. So for March I ended up only reading 2 books. So I did 1 audiobook and 1 physical book. So I feel like, you know, I just go through periods, and this is just like, I keep saying that I'm in a reading slump, but I just think it's generally how I am as a reader, where I will read a bit and then I just won't read for a while, and I'll read a bit and then I won't read for a while. So I just have to accept that this is the reality of my reading, but I'm still very happy with all the things I have read in this period. The first book is Phantasma by Kaylee Smith, and this one was interesting to go into because, like, so polarized, because some people hate it and think it's dumb and other people really enjoy it, and I was really hoping to enjoy it. And I was also hoping it was a Phantom of the Opera retelling, and I was very sad it wasn't, but there were still vibes because he's a shadow daddy, hides in the shadows, and he helps her and he loves her, and it's fun, you know. I think his name was Blackwell. Yes, Blackwell. I just, you know, there was vibes. And I do plan on filming a book review for this, but just so you know, I filmed my Games That Gods Play review like 6 months ago, and it's still sitting there unedited, so I haven't even filmed this one yet, so it's going to be a while, but I did write notes. Like, I really want to talk about it because, like, I want to talk about books that I read in depth, but then I just don't have time to. So eventually those videos will come out, and I hope that you will watch them. But this one is a game, so Phantasma is this game, and it's set in New Orleans for this game because it moves around this, like, mansion to different areas, and, like, creepy stuff happens where basically you go in and there's a series of 7 challenges that are based on the 7 deadly sins, and each challenge you move up a level, and at the end you can get 1 wish of your heart's desire. Our main character, Ophelia's sister Guinevere, goes into the game before Ophelia even knows about it. So Ophelia's going into the game just to get her sister out. So she's not really caring about the prize, but they're also in severe debt, and their mother has just died. And so obviously she's kind of like, oh, if I win though, I could, like, get the money, settle our debts, and have a life and stuff. But it's just really interesting because, like, we have a massive collection of characters, and obviously some shitty ones, some good ones, but basically, yeah, you're going through the challenges in the game. A lot of moving parts in this book, and I've really enjoyed it. And I really liked the romance. And one thing though is a lot of people complain that this book is more smut than plot. I think there was only like 3 sex scenes, and yes, like, you're allowed to focus on the sex scenes when you're in them, but I feel like there was so much plot and story. I'm not into massively smut-filled books. Like, I will read them. Like, it's not really that I have a problem with smut, but I'm, like, sitting here like it wasn't bad, and I'm just like, how are people saying that this is bad? Like, I've read worse than this. Like, I really don't care if there is smut in my book, but that's what I mean. I don't go for the ones that are just, like, completely, that's the whole entire book, because I do enjoy some plot with my smut, but, like, this book was good. Like, I just feel like people were complaining, and I'm just like, have you not read any other books that do way worse? But I did enjoy this. It was a lot of fun. And then I read Hunted by Mila Young. So this is one of the books that I picked up at the Celestial event, like the book signing last year. So I read it in March because it was for my challenge where I had to read a book under 250 pages, and this one was like 241. Like, I was looking through my whole shelves and I'm like, do I literally not have any books that are tiny? So this is a retelling of Red Riding Hood, but there is 3 wolves and it's a why choose. This one is, where is the plot? There is too much smut, okay? Because she's got 3 men that she's got to be with in the course of 241 pages. So there is a lot of insta love, there's a lot of insta attraction, and I know it's the idea of it being mates because it's werewolves and everything, but she is human, and basically, like, you know, she ends up on the wrong side of the wall, and she gets taken by the wolves, and then they realize that she's a mate, and it was, you know, it's fun. Like, I enjoyed it, and there's other moving parts of it, and her best friend is the Belle character in the Beauty and the Beast retelling, which I think is going to be fun as well, but it's bears. There's 4 bears, and then the 3rd book is a Tangled retelling, and there's like a tiger, a lion, and a dragon. and I'm like, what the fuck, man, like that's different. So I'm intrigued about all of them though. Like I think it's going to be a good time. I didn't have like high expectations because the writing is a little bit immature and stuff. I just ended up having fun with this because I wasn't reading it deeply, and I feel like that sometimes is the best policy, because then you can just enjoy what you're reading. So I don't actually have a massive pile of like physical books to actually show you, because there is like half of them are the audiobooks, even though A Curse of Crows and Phantasma were also audiobooks. Like audiobooks are saving my life because it just makes reading so much easier for me sometimes when I can just do it with my ears. But yeah, that is just my whole wrap up. I mean, I'm very proud of myself. I feel like I got through some thick novels as well as just getting through some things that I needed to catch up on, and I've just had a good time reading so far. And there hasn't been anything that I'm fully like, oh, I hate this book. Like I've just had a good time. But I hope you enjoyed the wrap up. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!